Sure. Can I commend Deputy Dáil for putting the motion before us? As members will be aware, Government are not opposing the motion, and all of us on all sides of the House share the frustration and the annoyance in terms of the difficulties being experienced by people in our constituencies, neighbours, family members and friends. And I want to thank the members for the contributions in this debate on National Driver Testing Service today. I'm conscious of the disparity of test delays. Deputy Dáil, you'll appreciate my next comment. My late mother was a recipient of the Sylvester Barrett licence, and as we heard earlier, unacceptable that we have a situation where people are experiencing inordinate delays, and we cannot go back to those days where we hand out driving licences like what happened before. The depth of feeling on this issue is one I understand fully. I have it in my own office. I have with people every day of the week. All of us are in agreement, Cahill, that we need to deliver decisively on the issue of service provision and the long-standing issue in terms of the reliable, high-quality driving testing service that is available in our state, regardless of where you live. Not only is achieving the 10-week target time important in terms of learner drivers' experience of the service, it's also a vital component of delivering on our road safety strategy and the ambition to halve road deaths and serious injuries this decade, ensuring that all of our drivers are well trained, equipped with the challenges of modern driving makes us all feel safer on the roads. As Minister O'Brien has outlined in his opening remarks, the population of our country has increased significantly. This has put additional demand on the driving testing service, with now a record number of applicants received last year. And while the operation of the service is the statutory remit of the RSA, Government have sought to support them in meeting this demand through a number of staffing sanctions in recent years, most recently the 70 additional driving testers sanctioned on a permanent basis last autumn, with a sanctioned headcount of 200 today, and there has been a doubling of the staffing sanction in just over 2 years, reflecting our commitment to addressing this issue. Prior to this, members will be aware that the RSA requested sanction for 75 testers on a temporary basis, which was approved by the then Minister of the Department in March 2023. As already outlined by Minister O'Brien, the temporary sanction at the time was the correct one, ensuring that the permanent staffing decisions were not taken while the service was experiencing a post-pandemic distortion and creating capacity to deal with immediate demand, while a longer-term assessment of capacity requirements was conducted. Under this temporary sanction, significant progress was made between August of 2023 and August and April of last year, with the halving from 30 to 15 weeks. Progress that was made under the previous sanction before the loss of testing capacity gives us confidence and hope that the additional capacity now entering the service on a permanent basis will deliver improved waiting times on a sustained basis going forward. And that is the key point, members, will deliver on a permanent basis for all people. The RSA is confident that a permanent position now on offer will attract and retain more testers than was the case for the temporary sanction, and the fact that it remains in place permanently will allow the RSA to fill vacancies that arise and in response to demand up to the ceiling of 200 on an ongoing basis going forward. Members will, I hope, be impressed by the fact that interest in the competition was quite high, with up to 1,400 people applying at the initial stage, with over 300 making it through to the final driving assessment stage. And I'm informed by the RSA in advance of this debate tonight that they intend to commence training the first tranche of new recruits early next month in March, and onboarding will continue with additional trainees over the next couple of months. I hope and expect that we will see sustained progress towards the 10-week wait time in the months ahead, and the RSA have been required to put in place a plan to achieve that target as soon as possible. The additional capacity will help address the systemic mismatch between supply and demand that has developed in recent years as our population has grown. However, I think it's also important to acknowledge the steps taken by the RSA and efforts by individual testers to mitigate the impact on people to the greatest extent possible while the current recruitment campaign is ongoing. There was an extensive voluntary working of overtime by driver testers last year, and I thank them for that and commend them to help meet demand during 2024, and this is continuing, including at weekends. To support this, the RSA ran an incentivisation programme from overtime during last year, and a similar offer is under consideration for this year. Deputy O'Flynn members raised the issue of no-shows, and the RSA have introduced an IT system improvements to maximise the number of test slots utilised and reduce the amount of tests lost to cancellation and no-shows. Once a person has been invited to book a test, they can now book slots released at short notice following a cancellation on the My Road Safety portal, and such slots are added every day. And the new system has seen the overall percentage of testing slots decreased from 95% to over 98%. Finally, deputies may wish to know that the RSA has transparently published monthly information on the driving test service on the CSO website, including a breakdown of waiting times and distribution of testing capacity by test centres. Members have made reference to the RSA, and there is one final element of the opposition motion that I would like to address and touch upon, and that relates to the call for government to conduct an urgent review of the capacity of the RSA to deliver the driving testing service. And I want to commend Anne Graham, the new chairperson today, and to wish her well. As members are aware, such a review was actually commissioned at the beginning of 2024 and presented to the government last November. The core recommendation emerging from that review is that the RSA will be split into two separate and independent bodies responsible for respectively the provision of customer service, such as driver testing, and the delivery of wider public interest work, such as road safety campaigns and education. This reform will take time to deliver, but detailed work on how it will be implemented is underway and will be presented to the government by Minister O'Brien at the appropriate juncture. In the long term, this radical restructuring of the organisation will help ensure a singular focus on delivering high-quality public services within the responsible body, while similarly allowing the public interest body to focus on public interest work, and that is why the motion tonight before us is very important. It will mark a transformation in how road safety interventions have been delivered over the past decade, and I believe can make a significant contribution to the achievement of our 2030 targets under the road safety strategy in the coming years. To conclude, government recognises the significant impact that long waiting times have in terms of driving tests on people across our country, particularly those residing in rural areas, as we've heard in the debate, where public transport may be limited. It is important, however, that we do not compromise testing standards and instead ensure the recruitment delivers sufficient testing capacity of an appropriate standard to support safe road use. As the current recruitment campaign is currently well advanced, additional capacity will enter the system in the coming months, and we expect to see wait times progressively reduced towards the target of at least the level of 10 weeks. As Minister O'Brien outlined, seeing tangible progress on this issue, which is impacting on all of our constituents, is a foremost priority of him as a minister and in the department. Can I again thank Deputy Dáil for bringing this motion before the House and for the contributions of all members during debate. Can I just make the point, that as a practising constituency public representative, I understand fully the annoyance, the frustration and the delay and the consequences of that. And I thank Deputy Dáil for bringing the motion to the House, and as members will know, government are not opposing the motion. Gramadh Caherlick.